So on today's video, I want to dive a little bit more into Tesla service mode. And I'm doing that specifically for two reasons. One, I did a short some time ago that is still picking up viewership right now. So there's still a lot of interest in service mode. And two, I had a recent experience with service mode where it actually was helpful in me finding out that there's an issue with my car. I had a problem with my charge port where when you touch it, it wouldn't open up. I had to either use the phone, the app, the screen, or the button from the charger to get the charge port to open up. And there were no alerts about the issue. It wasn't until I went into service mode that I found that there was an issue with the sensor. And that made me, okay, what's going on here? And I created a service ticket with Tesla, and they came to the house and basically had to swap it all out. So just finding out that I had that problem here that I never got an alert for, but I could tell there was something was wrong. It just made me appreciate service mode a lot more. Quick caveat: this video here is not going to be showing you how to do everything in service mode. Service mode is something that you don't want to mess with unless you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing and you go trigger something in service mode, you can definitely damage your car. So I want to put that caveat out there. But if you are curious about service mode and what you can do with it and how you can learn more about your car from that screen, this is for you. So on that note, let's jump into it and let's talk about what I did and what other useful things can you do. One key thing that could be useful here too is checking your battery status, especially your low voltage battery. So how do you get a service mode? You want to go to your car menu, so you hit that there, and then you want to go to where it says software. You're going to have this view here that says Model Y or Model S, Model 3, Model whatever you have. I'm going to hold that there, and then once you get that prompt there, you want to enter service as your access code. Enter. You're going to get this prompt here reminding you service mode is not for play. Anyway, you're going to choose enter. And then once you choose enter, you get this red box around your screen that tells you you're in service mode. When you're in service mode, you're going to have a few things logged. Your speed is going to be limited. You have your VIN show up here, alerts to check. But more importantly, your AC goes off. Right now, it's 93 degrees in this garage, and I'm going to be cooking if I don't turn that back on. So your main screen here is going to be vehicle info that will show you basically a lot of things. Your VIN, what you have for hardware, it's from where you're on, your infotainment, your odometer, and they're going to have certain things here like alerts to check, software install, service settings, touch check. Service alerts, basically you're going to show basically what's happening here. And so here I have an alert that showed up here, and it's saying trunk fold flat switch fault. Now, I did not get any alerts show up on the car about this, but it looks like there's something going on with my trunk fold flat. And this is saying trunk fold flat switch is unavailable either due to a condition affecting functionality or because it is disconnected, which makes me wonder now, because when they fixed the charge port, the guy had to dismantle the whole entire rear. So I wonder if there was a switch that they should have plugged back in that is not plugged back in. But like I said, here I've got a trunk fold flat switch fault. I'm going to go test real quick and see if I do my trunk fold, does it work? So I'm going to open the trunk. I'm going to step outside. I'm going to try back here, and I'm going to push. And yeah, you are correct. My trunk buttons here do not work. So when Tesla fixed the charge port that's on this side, what they had to do was take this entire panel here apart. This whole thing was taken off. And when I pull this apart now, I can see, I'll try to show you here, I don't see any wirings going to that trunk switch. Also, this here should be connected. That's for the 12 volts in the back. So the Tesla tech that put this back together did not connect this, did not connect that. So that's the wire for that 12 volt port there. That's not connected back. That I can fix. The one I need to find out is where's the wire for that switch there. So let's see if I can dig that up. There we go. That's the cable right there. That's not plugged back in. And so I'm going to take this and try to plug that back in. and you can see right away I got lights. So I'm also going to take this guy. So this was not even planned. I wasn't planning on doing this today. It was just a case where I went to that setting, and there we go. Now I fixed back those pieces there, and there we go. Now it works. So that was interesting because I just found a problem with my car that I did not know I had. So if I did not know to come check in here, I didn't know there was a problem here. So let's go back here and then touch check. This here is basically a test for your screen. Is your screen working as it should? You can do anything. Basically, anywhere you touch, you should see a line show up in there, and that's how you can test your screen. If you want to exit, you just got to touch two corners at the same time. There we go. And so that's how you exit that. Service settings, you can choose remote speed limit, and so that's gone. Enable phone Bluetooth and everything. You can choose to basically change the settings for the service mode. I know I don't think you need to mess with this. I'll skip that for now. But that's your main screen there for service mode. Then you've got driver assist, and this is just going to be options to check your cameras and see is everything working. I've got 8 cameras going on plus the inside one that's 9, and you can see everything is green. You can also see the pitch and everything here. Is anything off pitch or out of pitch? So if it's a case where you're having issues with your camera, this is one good place to check and see up front. Is anything red or orange? It looks like this is doing GPS checks. I'm in the garage, so I've got lots of walls around, so that might be affecting my GPS stuff in here. But either way, on the camera side, I'm good. You can choose to click on that and see more details, what kind of camera it is. This is hardware 3, so I'm not sure if that would be different for hardware 4. And then, of course, camera preview. And you can also do pitch verification. You can see the 2 green lines, which is your range for your pitch. Going back into that driver assist, then your sensors. I've got the model with parking sensors, and so you can see the 6 in front, 6 in the back. If you have a model that's without a parking sensor, you may not have all of that there, but this is also checking my GPS antenna there. You can see that in the middle. Everything is all green. All my sensors, everything working, functioning perfectly. So that's that on driver assist. Infotainment, first is connectivity, Wi-Fi and your LTE signal. Wi-Fi state, it's online, everything is good, I'm connected. It's able to phone home with Tesla connection. On the cell signal side here, you can see everything is also green. So if you're having issues with your Wi-Fi, or you're not able to connect when you're on the road, you can always come in here and just check and see, is your cell connection broken? Is your modem affected, right? You can test modem. This will do everything. I'm not going to do any tests right here, but you can just see up front, is your modem valid, or is something wrong with it? Do you have good cell connection? Is your Wi-Fi good, right? So once you verify that stuff, you're good to go. Software, this is more actually looking more, it looks like it's checking more of the hard drive on the car, and it takes a while to like check the sizes, but it basically tells you right there for infotainment, there's 2 banks in there, the size, for autopilot, the size, and then for maps, that's still reading and still doing its thing. And so far, I'm looking for, is anything red, anything orange? If it's green, I'm good. ECU update status, there's no problem there. This is checking a bunch of control units, and so far nothing that's giving me a problem. I'm not going to stay on that. And then software install, this says it should only be used if a CAN ECU has been replaced. So I don't know if this meant for you to try to push software. It most likely will just reinstall the same software you have right now. I don't think it gets you in anything new. Moving on now to high voltage, this is your battery system. So here you can see the battery. Right now I've got the state it's supporting, it's not charging. My charge is 73.3. My pyrophase is good. Battery health, I've not done a battery test before. That's because it takes a long time. If I do the battery health test, it tells you here the test will take up to 24 hours. Also, if you want to do the battery test, you want to probably have your battery be as low as possible, because what this would do is this would drain your battery down and then try to charge it up all the way to 100%. So if you have a high state of charge when you run this test, it will basically kick in all your fans, the heat pump, everything. It gets very noisy, So the more you are closer to zero, the easier it is. But I'm not gonna do that test here. It's checking with contactors, nothing is wrong there. DC link, front and rear drive unit, all good. My heat pump, everything is all good there. So I'm looking just for any obvious signs of a problem. Charging, so far everything is green. Contactors, everything all good. BMS, battery temperatures, high voltage interloop lock, everything is good. No, nothing to worry about there. I don't have the car plugged into a charger, so this is not showing me anything here. And then my charge port, you can see is disconnected. Latch is engaged, and a lot of this stuff here, you can always tap on them and see what it says, what it's referring to, and not much we're gonna mess with over there. High voltage battery. Now this is the actual battery itself. You can see in here. So far, I'm at 73%. Everything is green. These are all the different packs. Everything is green across the board. Down here, I've got the PCS, the power conversion system. That's green. You can see a bunch of things in here. I'm not gonna ping anything or any changes here, but you can see there are contactors there. Everything is green, and I think you can even tap the bank here. It doesn't give you much information, but that's it. And if you're having issues with like your state of charge, you can choose to reset it. But you want to do that only if you're above 90% or below 15%. That there to reset the SoC. That's what that's doing. And then the last thing here on the high voltage is the interloop connector, and it's just showing you. I'm not an engineer that understands all of this stuff here, so I'm not gonna try to mess with it. But am I seeing any errors? Anything red here? No. So I'm gonna move on. Next up then is the low voltage. This is where I think it's important if you want to make sure everything is good with your low voltage battery. This has changed recently where they have more information here now. Now it's showing you actually your paired keys. You can look at what's paired by phone or your key cards. You can see your Bluetooth connection. You've got like 2 or 3 controllers here, left, center, and right. Actually, there's 4 of them, sorry. Left, center, right, and rear. And that's how when you're walking towards the car, it can pick you up real quick and know where you are and open or lock your doors. But you can basically just check in here to see why some of them are going between orange and red. Maybe it's just the noise level that it's looking at, but I don't have any problems with that, so I'm not going to sweat it. So that's that on the keys. Power distribution. This is where you can check your low voltage battery. I don't know if this is enough to give you a heads up that something is about a break, but here you can see I have a 2022 that's got a lithium ion 16 volt low voltage battery, and you can see the health. It says okay. It tells you the configuration is a cattle lithium ion. It's currently at 79% with a voltage of, it's putting out 15.49 voltage. So I don't know if it's supposed to be 16 volts, but either way, it said it's okay. And then even everything else here too, you can see all those numbers reading correctly. And I think that's that. It's back here, we go L voltage, and it shows you even the different cells. And if you change that, you can have it learn new battery. The good thing about here is you click any button, you always will get a prompt. I'm not going to do anything with that now, but that's that. And so hopefully if you're checking this and you're seeing health not okay, or your state of charge is low. Now, one thing is that low voltage battery gets replenished from the high voltage battery under the car. So if you're not getting full voltage from your battery there, that might be an indicator that maybe something is going wrong with your battery. And so something to just keep an eye out here with this screen here is this might be a way to catch your low voltage battery issues up front. I've got a 2021 Model Y that's got a 12 volt lead acid battery. With that being 3 years now, I'm gonna do a check on that and just make sure that that battery is good and it's not saying something that we need to be concerned about. So in this case, for my 2021 that's got the 12 volt battery, that's saying it's also okay, but it's saying the voltage is almost 14 volts. So it must be putting out more than 12 volts. It looks like it's putting out 14 volts. But at least right now, from what I can see in here, I don't think there's anything to be concerned. You just see here, this does say lead acid, but other one said lithium ion. So this is a lead acid battery. Of course, different make model there. But so far, if it's 14 volts and it's putting out 13.95, I don't think there's much degradation that I'm seeing on that end there. So hopefully, nothing to be worried about. But that's that on the low voltage rate. And then if you have home link, here's where you can configure that or check the status of it. I don't have a home link. If I did that, this is where you would do the retrofit to have it connect to it. But we'll move on from that. Next thing then is thermal. This is basically checking your refrigerants and coolants and everything. System status, it's not ready for fuel or drain. I'm not gonna mess with anything here. I'm not doing any self-test on this screen here. Refrigerant system, if what this means, great. I see a bunch of colors. I don't see anything that says problem. Suction is green, discharge is green, compressor is green, liquid is green. For me, that's what that matters. Folks that know what the screen means can probably spend time here and understand what it means. For me, it's just more of, is everything good? But if you have a case where your air is not blowing cold or not blowing hot, maybe you come in here and you see there's a problem with your compressor that you need to be aware of. Going back to the coolant system, this is the coolant that's running through the car. It's going through the drivetrain, the powertrain, the battery, and everything. I'm not gonna mess with anything here. I'm not looking to do any purge or drain, but I'm looking at everything here. Is anything concerning? Anything that's red, orange? So far, everything that I see here is green. For infotainment, so I've got green colors there, high voltage battery, green colors there, battery pump, RPM, whatever it should be, where it's green. But anyway, coolant bottle, I can't really click on stuff in here to see details, so not gonna sweat that, but nothing of concern there. And then HVAC, this is your internal AC system. You can see all the vents that they have going on in here. You can choose to see from the right, from the top, or from the left. I'm not gonna mess with this here. It's just a matter of, is anything red that you're concerned about? Nothing, everything is good. It tells you the temperature that's blowing out of the vents. And so that's that. And then that's that for thermal. We go to chassis, alignment, and tires. So of course my steering is not straight right now, and it shows that there. If I try to turn it, you can see it's controlling that. Let's see, there we go. So if you need to like align your steering to make sure it's straight, you can use this to check here and see, and I can see it's got an applied offset here of 1.4%. So it looks like some offset was applied to keep it straight. You can clear that applied offset if you feel like it's pulling one way or the other, or your steering is not straight. You can always clear that and try to keep it straight. But you can also choose to do offset drive test. This will always prompt you, give you what you need to know before you do that. I'm going to close that. If you change tires or you have issues with your TPMS, you might be able to come in here and have it reset the land value. And it says actually to do this after tire rotation or replacement. And I'll tell you this, I've had Tesla rotate the tires at least 2 times on this car, and they have never come in here to do anything here. So not sure how much this is needed, but it is what it is. That's what we have over there. And then I mentioned TPMS. This is here, if you have a new TPMS, you can use this here to try to pair it. This is, because I'm not driving right now, so it's going to try to read from all those 4 sensors. But TPMS controller is green, not going to change much here. Steering, this is going to check your steering column. It's going to check your power assisted steering, make sure it's all good. And as I'm turning that there, you should see the torsion bar torque be changing. There's an option to do that. If you need this to basically calibrate itself, you can run this calibration. That way it will push the steering in, out, up, down, and everything. I'm not going to do anything there, but that's that option there. SCCM, this is basically checking all your steering control modules. So you can see I've got on the horn in the middle. If I press this parking button here, you can see that highlight to yellow and show what I'm pressing. If I bring it down, you can see it show that I'm pressing that there, and I'm bringing down 1. If I go 1 more down, the dot below there lights up. Same thing if I go up, or if I do this one here, you can see that, and it tells you what I'm activating with the light. Also, your steering controls, very faint to see. I'm sure it'll be different in the Model 3 Highland, Model S, and Model X. They don't have the stalks, but that's what you have there. And then your brakes. This shows you everything about your brakes. So brake pedal switch is pressed, press. Also shows the pressure. So it's hovering about 0 bars right now. I push it down, I get up to about 100. And so you can also see different things about those brakes. Speed sensor, I'm gonna have parking, basically the parking brakes there, the rear that's set, the wiring, that should be like the control module. So basically a bunch of things that you can see here. So you're checking to see, do you have any problem? You can do brake stiffness test and everything, and it will tell you what you want to do. I'm not going to get into this. I've seen some videos about where you can do tests and you can also do brake burnishing, and this will have you do actually a few things like drive up to a certain speed and then slow down real quick. And it has that instruction here. Your choice if you choose to do something with that, but for me, I'm not going to spend time on that right now. But that's that on chassis. Then closures, windows. Basically, you're checking your windows, anything wrong. So if you're having issues with a window, you can choose to calibrate that one window. So if my driver's window was having problems and it's not working correctly, you can choose to calibrate it and have that all be reset. Also, you can check the buttons. So I'm doing here, it's saying front left. Since I can control everything from here, everything I do will always come back here and it will tell you which window you are controlling and direction. If I do it from the other side, then you can see that also show up over there. So you can test all your functionality, all your windows if you're having issues with it. If you don't have any issues with it, you don't have to do anything. Wiper module replacement, this is basically one of the tasks after you replace the wiper module, but you have that. And then gateway logged, that's this there. That is a gateway. It requires you to have the key, the phone key, to be in park, and then to unlock it, you have to signal right. You see, I've got that there, and then I have to press the brakes. And then when you do that, it gives you a countdown to when it's going to begin that initiative. I'm going to stop there. And once you stop any of this action, the gateway goes back to being locked. So that's that. And then next here is the safety and restraint. So you've got your airbags, and it just tells you basically status of everything. The seat ones, the curtain ones, the front, the knee, all that stuff, everything is good. Not gonna mess with that there. Also seat sensors. You've got the seat belts also that tells you that it's unlatched. The front seat here, it did pick that up, it's occupied. Passenger seat, it says it's empty. But that's what you got there on the seat. And honestly, that is everything with service mode. One thing I use this for is primarily is on that main vehicle info screen. Hopefully this has been helpful here in you at least service mode, what it's about, and the things you can do and learn from it. And again, just find out those things that could be broken that you're not even aware of to begin with. Again, this video was not meant to go through and change settings or adjust settings or run tests. It was just to show you exactly more of what you can do in service mode and the benefits. Like I said, I discovered an issue with my rear seats fold based on me just looking in service mode. So it might be something you want to check just to see if there's any alerts that show up that don't show up in a regular screen. That could be useful. But the goal of this video was just to give you more insight into what you can do with service mode. So hopefully this has been helpful in seeing your options, what you can do, what you can learn from service mode. And please, if you're going to make any changes or run any tests, be sure you know what you're doing if you're going to be doing this. So as always, if you find this useful, don't forget to like the video, share with others, subscribe, and we'll have more stuff coming up for you here in a little bit. So thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time.